What's up, guys? It is BarrowsBOY here. As always, I thought I would throw a little video together talking about the lore and a little info behind the brand new Slayer boss that just came into Old School RuneScape, the Abyssal Sire. It is, of course, the Abbey Demon boss. The first thing you want to know is this boss is in the Abyss, and the best way to get there, DIP through fairy rings. If you cannot use fairy rings, you have to get in there the old-fashioned way. You have to get in, going through the Abyss, same way you would rune crafting. So some Abyssal bracelets might be something you might want to check out. And the first fella who you enter, very hyped up NPC, is the Overseer, and I'll try to get a good. He's kind of massive, so it's kind of hard to get a good look at him. But there you go. He's a very interesting creature here. But there's a lot to it, and I'll go through the dialogue here really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time just reading through the dialogue. I'd rather talk about it. But basically, and I've already gone through everything, so he's gonna kind of talk to me a little bit. But basically, the lore behind this guy and the Abyss in general is really cool. Basically, during the God Wars, which of course we all know as that dungeon with 4 generals from the gods, I guess. Well, the God Wars was a much bigger event in RuneScape's history than a lot of people realize. I don't know everything about it, but for all intents and purposes, everyone was fighting against Zamrock. There's some other stuff in there, but basically this guy, the Overseer, was for all intents and purposes, a minion of Zamrock. And I'll just kind of walk through the... Tell me about yourself. He was a minion, and basically he and the Abyssal Sires who are in here now were basically coming in here to find, I mean, like he says here, we're battling against the other gods for control, and we sought reinforcements from any plane we could reach. That is including the Abyss. So they broke into the existence that was the Abyss, and then ended up being stuck here, basically. The Sires themselves created this, I guess, this living space, or I guess they created the Abyss. They were here before. Sorry, they didn't actually get prisoned here with Zamrock. The Overseer did. The Abyssal Sires themselves actually created the Abyss as basically means of surviving. The Abyss, I guess, wasn't the way we see it as now before they got here. So they got imprisoned here, and the Sires constructed what we now know as this living, breathing abyssal area. And so they constructed this whole thing using, I guess, as he says, they absorbed flesh and bone of their demon kin, weaving it into the fabric of these very walls. Here they have remained in deep stasis, asleep, and basically that's where you come in. These 4 areas here. You can see 2 of the pathways here. I'll meander down one really quickly, but down each of these 4 areas, these are where the 4 different Sires are, and I like that. It's not like Cerberus, where it's kind of unexplained as to why there's 3 of them in every world. The Sires, actually, it makes sense for there to be multiple of them. So really great job by Ghost and the team. I am honestly blown away. Now, one more thing that he says at the end here, and I'll scroll through it really quickly. He mentions having the shadows on your side. He says, someone of your caliber should be able to deal with them, though, especially with the shadows on your side. Now, I don't know if that actually has any meaning, and I don't know if that will actually have any implication in the fight. From what I've seen so far, and I've actually not given the boss an attempt yet, but from watching folks right now, and I've seen some folks try Shadow Barrage, there's a part in the boss fight where the Sire becomes disoriented. And you'd think you could speed that up by using a Shadow Barrage or something of that nature. But it doesn't look like there's actually any use for it. So, which kind of a shame. Could have been this really cool little like tease in dialogue with the Overseer. That kind of points to boss mechanics. The last and final thing that's really cool about this all, the Sires have basically their offspring, and they're called unsireds, and it's basically the drop that you want to get from the Abyssal Sires. It's I don't know how rare it is, we're not really sure yet, but you get this unsired drop. It is effectively a sire fetus kind of thing. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it in mammal terms, I suppose. And you bring it to this guy, and he uses it as he uses it in the font of consumption, which it, he says he will be able to consume its flesh if you place it in there. Hard to tell if he's like actually a part of the font. I don't really quite understand that up to this point. It seems like he's kind of soaking energy out of it. Who knows? But he's eating the sire's bits basically. And as you give him those unsired pieces, as far as I know, those are the things that can drop the pieces of the bludgeon. The Abyssal Bludgeon, the new best in slot crush weapon. And again, it says, bring the unsired here to the font of consumption. By placing the unsired in the font, I will be able to consume its flesh, and perhaps you will receive something worth having. Now, it's very possible that that is just a whip drop. It doesn't actually make sense for the unsired to give you anything but a whip or maybe something else, because the bludgeon, which has 3 parts, all of which are untradeable, come as specific pieces of the sire. There's a spine piece, etc., etc. So it doesn't actually make sense that you would get them from the unsireds. Maybe maybe the unsired has little pieces. I don't know, but they're rather small to fit in your backpack. I haven't seen one on the ground as of yet, but this could be completely wrong. I'm just kind of bullshitting at this point. I haven't seen anyone get bludgeon pieces yet, so it's very early on the day of the update. So obviously we don't know that much, but I will leave it there. Obviously, if you want to come watch me kill the sire, I'll be doing it over the next couple of days on my stream. Link is, of course, in the description. Guys, thank you for checking out this little lore video. I thought this was interesting enough that Ghost and the other JMods put so much work into spinning a story around the Abyssal Sires that, I think it was worth a little discussion and informing you guys a little further, those of you who don't get a chance to come in here and explore the area. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys on my stream. I will see you in the next one. See you later.